Welcome back to the mat, everyone. Bring your hands together as if in prayer and take a good sitting position. Press your sit bones into the floor, lengthen the sides of your body long. And then for a moment, if you wish, you would close your eyes and turn your attention inwards and observe your breath. And we'll open with 3 ohms. Exhale, inhale. 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 Open your eyes, release your hands. Word of the day is lesson. We're all enrolled in the school of life, and every day brings new lessons. Some of them we enjoy, some of them we don't. And particularly during this COVID-19 period, myself personally, every day I am learning lessons in relation to, one, into self-isolating and so on, but 2, also in the technology and the things that I'm doing to get my yoga videos out online. And I find I must proceed step by step. I don't know where I'm going and I don't particularly have any map to follow to bring me to where I don't know where I'm going. So the only way I can proceed, not sure in what I'm doing at all, is to do it step by step. And each step is a lesson in itself. And in my mind, there is no such thing as failure. It's just you take the next step. So that worked or didn't work, and either attach to it and say, right, I'll stay with that, that's a good thing to do, or no, put down that didn't work, we'll try something else. So approaching our practice as a lesson, each seeing what there is for you to learn in your practice this evening, and then bringing that lesson off your mat and out into your life, but proceeding step by step. So that's the key. So let's come onto our hands and knees. Place your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips, hands shoulder width apart, grip the floor at your fingertips, and exhale and round your back up towards the ceiling and lift your belly up. And then inhale, melt your heart, sit down between your shoulder blades, flare your toes, look up. And do that 5 more times, exhaling, rounding up. Inhaling, sinking down. Body following breath as usual. Always observing our breath. Feels so good just to move your back like that, to wake it up after the day. Moving into tiger, opposite arm, opposite leg. Stretch your left leg out behind you, lift it off the floor, lift your right arm out in front. Stretch the tips of your fingers away from your toes. Hand in line with shoulder, heel in line with hip. And switch to the other side. Left arm out in front, right leg out behind. And release, and then right arm out in front, right leg out behind, so it's the wibbly wobbly one. And switch to the other side. Shift your weight onto your right knee and right hand and lift the left arm, left leg off the floor. And come into child's pose, sit back in your heels and knees apart and sinking down deep. Come up onto the tops of your fingers, engage your arms, engage your core, observe your breath. On every inhalation, creeping your fingers forward, on every exhalation, sinking deeper. And moving into leg lifts, come and lie on your back. Clasp your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers. Bring your elbows into the side of your face. Inhale, bring your knees into your chest. Lift your head and shoulders off the floor. Inhale, stretch your legs up. Exhale, inhale, lower your legs to the floor. And exhale and bring them back up. See if you can do 2 sets of 5, endeavouring to bring your knees to touch your elbows. Not forgetting to breathe. And make that your last one and come all the way up to standing. Moving into crescent triceps. Lift your right arm up by your ear. Clasp your right triceps with your left hand. Stretch right arm up. Move arms into the back plane. Move your hips to the right, your torso to the left. Be as sideways as possible. Lift your chin. Root down equally with both feet into the floor. Feel a lovely stretch on the right hand side of your body. Engage your quads. Inhale, make your way back to centre and switch to the other side. Clasp your left triceps with your right hand and be as sideways as possible in the other direction. Move your chin back, your ears back, lift your chin up. Inhale, come back to centre. Moving into power pose, hands bound. Clasp your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers and place your thumbs on your sacrum so that your elbows are bent, and then either feet hip width apart or together. Make sure the root of your second toe is pointing towards the middle of your ankle. Bend your knees, lower your hips, round your back. Bring your forehead to your knees, lift your arms off your back. Wrists together, more difficult. Wrists apart, more doable. Inhale, press down, stand up. Lift your arms out in front of you. And invite the head of the shoulder bones back deep into your sockets. Invite your shoulder blades onto your back. Hands shoulder width apart. Bend your knees. Lower your hips. Round your back. Bring your forehead to your knees. Stretch your arms out in front. Sit back on your throne. Inhale, press down, stand up, and moving into power pose. Hands shoulder width apart, point palms in, bend your knees, lower your hips, engage your core, move your ears back, notice your breathing. Keep pushing down into your ankles. Inhale, press down, stand up, and moving into tree pose. Shift your weight onto your left foot and lift your right foot and place it either against your ankle, stay here, your shin, your upper inner thigh. You could also hold on to something if you have a chair or a wall beside you. Press down with the standing foot into the floor, move your right knee out to the side and lift your gaze and focus on a point ahead of you that's not moving. And then either keep your hands at your heart or inhale and lift them overhead. Bring your palms together and stretch them up. Inhale and release your arms to your sides and switch to the other side. Shift your weight onto your right foot and lift your left foot and place it against your upper inner thigh or your ankle or your shin, and bring your hands together, square your hips, your shoulders to the long edge of your mat, if that's the way you're facing, and then either stay here or inhale your arms up. Exhale and release. And moving into Warrior 2. Step your feet wide apart. Turn your right foot out. Line up your front heel so it bisects the arch of your back foot. Square your hips, your shoulders to the long edge of your mat. Inhale your arms up. Bend your front knee, your right knee, sink down, move your front knee out in line with your second. I have to stop looking at my reflection because it puts me off. Move your front knee out in line with your second toe. Stretch your fingers away from you, invite your shoulder blades onto your back, engage your core, sink down even more. Press the outside edge of your back foot into the floor, engage your quad of your back leg. And press down and stand up and switch to the other side. Turn your right foot in, turn your left foot out. Keep your heel bisecting the arch of the back foot, bend your front knee, sink down, front shin vertical, thigh parallel. Keeping your body in the middle of your feet. Look out over your left hand arm. Move your front knee out in line with your second toe. Press the outside edge of your back foot into the floor. And press down and stand up. And moving into high lunge, walk to the back of your mat. Whatever works for you, either hands on hips or lift your arms overhead. Take a big step forward with your right foot, bend your front knee, sink down, front shin vertical, thigh parallel. Back heel vertical over toes. Stretch your front knee away from your back heel, lift your head, look up. Inhale, press down, stand up and switch to the back of the mat. Turn your right foot in, turn your left foot out. Lift your back heel up to vertical, front knee over ankle. Inhale, lift your arms up, bend your front knee, sink down, lift the back, your back knee up, lift your head, look up. Lower your arms and step your feet together. And just coming into mountain for a moment. Arms by your sides. Root down equally with the 4 points of your feet into the floor. Squeeze your shins in. Engage your quads. Stretch from your hips to your armpits. Broaden across your collarbones. Visualize a thread coming out of the top of your head and inviting you to stand tall. Moving into eagle pose, shift your weight onto your left foot and lift your right leg and wrap it around the left. Take the double wrap if it's available to you, and then bring your hands together as if in prayer. We won't wrap them this time, but squeeze your elbows together, bend your knees, lower your hips, lift your elbows up, gaze straight ahead. And release, and switch to the other side. Shift your weight onto your right foot and lift your left leg and swing it around and try and take the double wrap, or just wrap it once and then bend the front leg, bend your knee and sink down, back straight, lift your elbows up. And gently release. And coming back to standing, walking to the back of the mat, place your hands on your hips. Step forward with your left leg, lean forward, bring your chest parallel to the floor, lift your back leg out behind you. Inhale, stretch it up, exhale, allow it to come down and touch the floor. And do that 5 times. Inhale, stretch up, exhale, release. You can now have your arms by your sides if you wish. Palms turned up towards the ceiling. And switch to the other side. You can also use a chair, which is a good idea. Step forward with your right foot. Lean forward, lift your back leg off the floor, stretch your arms out. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, release. And come back to centre. Make your way out to your hands and knees and moving into pigeon pose. Place your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips, then walk your right knee forward and bring it towards the outside of your right wrist. And walk your back leg back and lower down onto your elbows. Clasp your hands together. Press the top of your back foot into the floor, lift your knee off the floor. Press the outside edge of your front foot into the floor. Lift your head, look up. Press your elbows into the floor. And switch to the other side. Right knee back, left knee forward. Stretch your back leg way back behind you, lower down onto your elbows. Press the top of your back foot into the floor, lift your knee off the floor. Press the outside edge of your front foot into the floor. Press your elbows into the floor, lift your head, look up. Release, and moving into endless pose, come and lie on your right hand side. You place your right elbow under your head, your hand under your head, stretch your right leg away from you, and you're endeavouring to line up your elbow with your hip, with your right heel. This may be as far as you want to go. You can put your hand here for balance, or bend your left knee, clasp the big toe with the first two fingers, stretch the leg out and up. Find your place of balance. And switch over onto the other side. Clasp the toe with the first two fingers and stretch it up and draw the leg towards you. Line up your heel with your hip, with your elbow. And just do the whole balancing thing. At the same time, engage your quads and keeping the pose strong. Engage the biceps of your arms. Push through your heel on the leg that's on the floor. And release. I'm moving into 8-angle pose. Arms and cobra arms. Walk them halfway down your ribs. Forearms vertical. Invite your shoulder blades onto your back. And then press your chin into the floor. Press your chest into the floor. Lift your hips off the floor. Knees on the floor. Turn your toes under. Gaze straight ahead. And stretch your legs out behind you. Keeping your arms in cobra arms, press the tops of your feet into the floor, flare your toes, inhale, just lift your hands off the floor so they're hovering over the floor. Lift your head and shoulders up. And don't forget to breathe. And release, and bring the side of your face to the floor and just rest. Arms by your sides. And now stretch your arms out by your sides, tops of your hands on the floor. Press the feet into the floor. Inhale, lift your head and shoulders off the floor. Squeeze your legs together. Lower to the floor and bring the other side of your face to the floor and rest again. And in full locust, backs of your hands on the floor, squeeze your legs together. Inhale, lift your legs off the floor, lift your arms, turn your thumbs up, lift your head and shoulders up, gaze straight ahead. And gently release and make your way up to kneeling on your mat. Stretch your right leg out to the side, flex and point it. If you have a block, it might be a good idea to use it here. And line up your heels so it's bisecting the shin of the other leg. It's halfway between the knee and the ankle of the other leg. And then placing your block so that you can place your right hand on the block and your elbows touching your knee. And then lift your left arm over the top of your left ear and look up at your palm. Keep pressing your right toes into the floor. Roll your left hip back, your left ribs back. Press elbow into knee, knee into elbow. Inhale, make your way back up and switch to the other side. Feels like a while since we did that pose. Stretch your left leg out to the side and place your block. And then place your hand on the block and lift your right arm up and look up at your right palm. And come back up to centre. Moving into camel, again if you have blocks or books, you can place your blocks towards your feet, knees hip width apart, tops of your feet on the floor. Now you can also place your hands on your hips, you don't have to reach for your blocks, yeah? And then reaching for your blocks, I like to lift my arm up and windmill it back on one side, lift it up and windmill it back on the other side. And place your hands on the blocks or on your feet. I'm using the blocks this evening because I still have that back injury. Press the tops of your feet on the floor, flare your toes, push your hips forward, broaden across your collarbones. Allow your head to drop back. tighten your glutes. Inhale, make your way back up to centre and put the blocks off to one side. And moving into runner's lunge. Stretch your right foot out in front of you and turn your toes up. And again, you might like to use blocks here. Place your blocks either side of your ankle, or you can use your hands on the floor. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, hinging forward. Press through your right heel, draw your toes back. Flare your toes in your back foot. Bring your chin towards your shin. Inhale, come back to centre and switch to the other side. Stretch your left leg out, turn your toes up, place your blocks. Inhale, expand, forward contract, hinging forward, and place your hands where it's comfortable for you. And inviting your chin to come towards your knee or your shin. Inhale, come back to centre, and moving into elevated bow. Place your hands under your shoulders, and then pivot your right knee and bring your foot across your left shin, your right shin across the back of your left calf, and reach back with your opposite hand and lift your knee off the floor. Use your leg to lift your leg, kick your heel up and back, so it's opposite hand to opposite foot. And release and switch to the other side. Cross your right ankle over your left ankle, reach back with your right hand, clasp your left ankle and lift your knee off the floor. Kick your heel up and back, opposite hand to opposite foot. Release that. Making our way into fallen sage. Come and sit on your right hip and place your right hand on the floor. Stretch your right leg out in front of you, your left leg out behind. Good. Then pivot around and place your hands shoulder width apart towards the front of your mat. And we'll just stay here for 1 minute, push through your heels, torso upright. And then lower your chest to the floor, keeping your legs where they are. And look away from your front foot. You're looking back over your right shoulder. Cobra arms. Inhale, come back up and switch over onto your left hip. So you're sitting on your left hip, leaning on your left hand. Stretch your left leg out in front, your right leg out behind. and square your shoulders towards the front of your mat. Legs as far away from each other as you can. Lift your chest, stretch your spine, gaze straight ahead. And bend your elbows and lower your chest to the floor and look away from your left foot behind you again to over your left shoulder. Cobra arms, point your elbows at the ceiling, forearms vertical, keeping both legs straight and away from each other. Inhale, make your way back up to centre and moving into bridge pose. Come and lie on your back. If you have a block or a book, you get to place it under your back this evening. So bend your knees, place your heels under your hips. Lift your hips off the floor and slide your block in underneath and put the block as high as is comfortable for you. And then just turn your palms up and just relax. Press down with your heels, lift your hips up and slide your block out, and then roll your spine down vertebrae by vertebrae and just feeling how lovely that is until you arrive at your lower back. And moving into constructive rest, move your feet out to the long edges of the mat and allow your knees to lean in towards each other. Place your hands on your abdomen, palms down, thumbs pointing towards your navel, index fingers touching each other and pointing towards your pubic bone. Just relax, release, sink down. Allow your arms to come to the floor and then allow both knees to come down towards the left so you're in double diamond. Your feet are spaced out on your mat and you can either be like this or lift your left foot and place the outside edge of your left foot on top of your right knee and allow your foot, the weight of your foot, to bring your right knee down. Make goalposts of your arms. Lift your head off the floor, turn it and look away from your knees and place your head back on the floor. And just let go again to a delicious big twist. Inhale, back to centre and switch to the other side. Allow your knees to come down to the right and lift the outside edge of your right foot and place it on top of your left knee and just allow the weight of that to bring it down, or just ordinary double diamond without doing that at all. And then lift your head off the floor and look away from your knees, look over your left shoulder, place your head on the floor. Gently release. see where we're going next. Now we're coming into Tibetan Weaponry 1. So come and sit up and bend your right knee and bring your heel to your hip. So you can see there. Yeah. Now if you have a block, you might like to place it under your outstretched, under your right, under the other hip. Yeah. And then lean back in your hands, squeeze your heel in towards your hip, push through the outstretched leg. If it's available to you, come down onto your elbows. I'm just staying here for this evening. Squeeze your knees together. Broaden across your collarbones. And switch to the other side. Stretch your left leg out, or stretch your other leg out, and bend your knee and bring your heel towards your hips. And if you wish to place a block under your outstretched leg, do that. Push through your left heel, lift your chest up, broaden across your collarbones. Squeeze your knees together. Keep squeezing your heel into your hip. Inhale, come back to center, and moving into Tibetan Weaponry 2. So you come and turn this way so you can see. Come and lie on your back, bring your knees into your chest and clasp the big toe of your right foot with the first two fingers of your right hand. And then clasp the outside edge of your left foot with your left hand. And then roll over onto your right hip, all the way over, bring your legs with you. And stretch your right leg out in front of you. And then shift the position of your hand so that you can bring your other foot back behind you. You're bending your knee and bring your heel back to your hip. Press through the outstretched leg and then look away from your right leg, lift your head off the floor and look back over your left shoulder. Make both feet active. Invite your left knee to come as low to the floor as you can get it. Engage the quad of the right leg. And release and come back to center and turn to the other end of the mat. Well, I'm going to turn to the other end of the mat so that you can see me, but you don't have to turn. And then bring your knees into your chest and clasp the big toe of your left foot with the first two fingers of your left hand, and then roll over onto your left hip, stretch your left leg out, and then bring your right heel behind you by bending your knee, bring your heel to your hip. Make both feet active. Push through your left heel. Invite your right knee to come as close to the floor as you can. And look back over your right shoulder. Bring both knees into your chest again. And moving into reclined west stretch. No, actually we'll come into happy baby first. Bend your knees, bring the outside edges of your, clasp the outside edges of your feet with your hands. Separate your knees as wide as your shoulders, your ankles as wide as your shoulders. Press down with your feet, with your hands into your feet, push up with your feet into your hands. Notice how this brings your lower back towards the floor, so invite your lower back onto the floor. Invite your shoulders onto your back. Press the back of your head into the floor, look up, and keep drawing your knees down towards the floor. And now bring both ankles together and begin to straighten your legs up. Squeeze your legs together and then soften your elbows and invite your toes down towards the top of your head. Keep pressing up with the back of your knees towards the ceiling. Press your lower back into the floor. And release. And come and sit up in staff pose. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Hands shoulder width apart. Squeeze your ankles together. Inner thighs together. Inner shins. Engage your core. Broaden across your collarbone. Move your ears back. Notice your breathing. Then bend your right knee and bring the outside edge of your right foot across your left knee. And then inhale, lift your arms up and hinging forward. Keeping your right foot active. Gaze beyond your toes, soften your elbows. If you have a strap, you could use a strap or a belt. Inhale, come back to centre and switch to the other side. I'm just going to get a drink. Bend your left knee, bring the outside edge of your left foot across your right knee. Press down with your sit bones, stretch your back up. Inhale, exhale, hinge forward. And just reach wherever your hands may be to the floor, might be to your shin or to your foot. Centre. And coming into west stretch, press through your heels. You can slightly bend your knees in this if you need to and separate your feet wider apart, just depending on your hamstrings here. Inhale, lift your arms up, exhale, hinge forward. You could also use a strap. Engage your quads, hinging forward, and just keep your gaze lifted. Make your way back up to centre and come and line your back, so moving it, thread the needle, bend your knees, lift lift your right foot, bring the outside edge of it on top of your left knee. Either stay here, more doable, or lift your left knee into your chest and clasp your knee. Press the lower back into the floor, invite your shoulder blades onto your back, press your head into the floor, look up, both feet active. And release and switch to the other side. Lift your left foot and bring the outside edge of it on top of your right knee. And bring your right knee into your chest, slip your hands between your legs, make both feet active. Release, and then bring both knees into your chest and roll over onto your right hip. Allow your knees to come to the floor, and then endeavouring to keep your shoulder blades on the floor, make goalposts of your arms, and then look away from your knees. Inhale back to centre and switch to the other side. And then finishing off with reclined child's pose, bring both knees into your chest. Give yourself the most delicious divine hug. If you'd like to roll around a little bit and massage your spine, now is a good opportunity to do that. And it's time for relaxation. So get your blanket. Make yourself a little bit warm and comfortable. Stretch your arms out, stretch your legs out. Lie down on your back. Arms by your sides. You might like to do a little body scan just to see, are you holding any tension anywhere? And one or two deep breaths just to sigh out the last of the tension, relaxing, releasing, letting go, sinking into your mat. Nowhere to be, nothing to do, complete relaxation. begin to deepen your breathing. Bring your attention to your body and start to awaken your body by moving your hands, your feet. Perhaps you might like to give yourself a stretch. And then bend your knees and roll to one side. You might like to pause for one moment between the doing and the being world. And then press your hands into the floor and push yourself up to sitting. Bring your hands together one last time to honour ourselves, each other, the practice. We close with one Om. Exhale, inhale. Om. Smile, breathe, go slowly. Thank you for practicing. See you on the mat.